Hello and welcome to anyone and everyone who's decided to watch this video. And today we are talking about a very, very interesting figure, a figure I was very excited for, and a figure I am very excited to have. The Transformers Age of the Primes Deluxe Class Alchemist Prime. We continue getting the 13, and we have gotten what may be the best one of the set. Honestly, I'm really liking this figure. I really dig him. So for a vehicle mode, he is another truck of the Primes. So, yeah, that's not that shocking. I mean, given the fact that the iconic Prime in the face of the franchise Optimus is a truck, it's not shocking how many of the 13 are also trucks, but he's a really cool truck. I like it a lot. It's got very nice details. It is arguably a little bit too Earth-like, especially in the front with the windshield and the grille details and all this stuff in the headlights. But then you look at the back and it's got this stuff. His knee pads obviously sticking out the side, so it still has some of that sci-fi alien feel to it. It really reminds me of this one truck that was used in the Halo show. If anybody's watched that, there's like the second to last episode of the first season. The scummy leader of that one planet is riding around in a big old truck, and this reminds me of that truck a lot. But I still think it's otherworldly enough. And I think some people think this doesn't look as special. It doesn't look as divine as a alt mode for one of the 13 should be, since they're supposed to be these deities. But I think that's right for Alchemist to have this toned down, more simple, more rugged, more regular looking vehicle form. I think it fits his character, and that's part of the reason why I really like this toy. It has a lot of character, because Alchemist is the laid-back Prime. He's the one who becomes Macadam, the bartender. He's clearly the one who likes to have fun, the one who likes to be normal. And this vehicle mode really screams that. You can't see his fists coming out the back and his feet. Also, his fists seem to have some kind of stopper to stop them from folding in all the way. The instructions say these can go in flat, but every time I try that, they just pop back out like this. So, yeah, I'm just going to leave them like that. That's fine. He rolls around. He's very green, too, because robot mode, like a lot of these figures, they're supposed to be based off their most prominent version in media. So he's supposed to be based off how he looked in Cyberverse, and he kind of looks like his Cyberverse self. He never had an alt mode in Cyberverse, or he did, but it was off-screen and supposedly weird and creepy, but we never saw it, so whatever. He's kind of looks like he has cues from that show, and his color scheme is more evocative of Iaconus, like that giant titan from Cyberverse, which is interesting. I should have brought out that toy for a comparison because I own it, but it's buried and I'm already recording the video, so I'm not going to do that. But his color scheme is very evocative of that toy. I'll just flash a picture of it right here, and you can see here with all the greens and the more leafy green and the knee pads and stuff, they're very, very similar. And yeah, it's a very, very fun little off-roading truck. I still think this could become remolded as Cybertron Overhaul. I think that would work really well. But yeah, it's just a nice little bulky truck, and I think he's really cool. I really like him. He feels special. And for a comparison, just put him next to another deluxe class figure I have around here, the Off-Road Rise of the Beasts Studio Series Bumblebee, just to show him next to another deluxe vehicle mode. So yeah, truck mode, really cool, really fun. Let us get to his robot mode. Actually, no. Let's not go to the robot mode yet, because there is one thing I need to point out that I feel like we were lied to a little bit. Okay, his lenses, his weapons here. We were shown in photos beforehand them stored on the roof like this, because he's got the 2 peg holes there, and yeah, they don't really do that. Like, if you split them in half, you can put them in this way for storage in vehicle mode, but you can't really have them lined up properly together. I guess you can fake it like this, which is probably what they were doing in those images, but like you can't have them as the combined magical lenses stored on top of his roof. Not really. So yeah. Now let's get to his robot mode. Alright, here he is in robot mode. Oh my gosh, where is his head? Oh, there it is. And yeah, he is a very squat, chunky boy, and I like him. I like him a lot. Again, very overhaul. I definitely am championing for that overhaul remold of this figure. But like, even alone here, he's really good. And you can see the bits of the Cyberverse design he has. The color scheme really washes it out. He has a mustache. I don't remember him having that in Cyberverse. But like you can see like the shape of his chest, the circles here, the prime rib cage belly. I think he had these on his arms, these discs here in Cyberverse. I have his Build-A-Figure too, but I didn't get that out. I really should have gotten out that stuff. Oh well. This figure's way better than that Build-A-Figure ever was, ever will be, anyway. Another thing I like about this toy in terms of giving it personality is he's got a little bit of a hunch to him. It's not that much, but if you don't want him to be like that, you can just stand him up straight and put his head straight. But I do like displaying him hunched over a little bit. I think it just gives him that extra bit of personality that this toy just oozes. He really feels alive. He feels like a character, even though he does have hollow arms, but that's it. Oh, and another thing I should address on my copy, this joint for folding the windshield back to his spine, this is really tight on mine. It's probably going to be okay on most copies, but on mine it's extremely tight. So I just wanted to point that out. But overall, he's just a good, chunky boy. He does all the traditional Transformer articulation. Another thing I need to point out, because in those photos, they showed like a fake third mode, where he's like raising his arms up high and holding his lenses here to act as like a viewing platform, because like all the primes have magic relics, and his are actually his eyes, but what they were trying to do here with the weapon is be like, it's a thing that he can like mold into different weapons, which is why it can come in half and become like these little blade things. But another form he can use it as is these giant lenses, so he can share his power with other characters. So they had like if you ever look up those photos that Mark on the Transformers team does on his socials, Mark Clonus, he had like a fake viewing platform mode where he had him like this, but he had the feet folded down because they fold in like this for transformation. So he had them folded back for the viewing platform mode. Don't do that. There's a stopper to stop you from doing that, and it's definitely going to stress the plastic to go past that stopper. So I like the idea of this viewing platform mode, but I'm just going to leave his feet out like this, which makes it not look like a mode at all. I mean, it probably would help if we put his head back in and like position him like this. Yeah, he looks more like a little gadget this way, I guess. But like, he's not supposed to have a third mode. That's just more for fun. But overall, I quite like the guy. I think he's really cool. I really like the greens, actually. I do wonder if we will get a more gray and yellow repaint with a new head to look like he did in Cyberverse better instead of these Iconus inspired colors, but I kind of prefer this. So I do think this was the right move. I think this looks really, really good. I really think this is a character. And again, he's chunky. He feels good in the hands. He's just fun to move around. My only complaint with his movement, and normally this is something I would not complain about, but I wish he had a wrist swivel, mostly just because of his lenses here. So I'd rather move the wrist to make it easier for him to hold them than having to move the arms. But you know, he can still hold them pretty fine and get those in front of him and view the cosmos or whatever. I forget what his eyes specifically do. I think he can see the future or something, see possibilities. I think that's how it works, and one of them has his logo on it, which we haven't addressed yet. And he can split them in half to become little daggers. So that's pretty nice, fun little weapons, goofy little weapons too, because it's like, would these really be that effective? But I like them, they're fun. Also, translucent blue, another potential throwback to Iconus, because he had that big blue sword. And also, you can port them onto his arms, but they don't really go past his hands, so that becomes more of a storage point than a real wrist blade, sadly. But again, perfect spot for Overhaul's claws, because Overhaul had them too. He didn't get the claws when he became Leo Breaker. He always had those claws. So again, Overhaul remold of this toy win. But honestly, it's such a good figure. I just really like it. Like, it's in the end, it's just another deluxe class, but I think it's a really good deluxe class. This might be my favorite Transformer of the year so far, honestly. He's really fun. He's simple, but he's fun, and I like him a lot because of that. He's maybe my favorite figure of the year, and by extension, my favorite figure of the 13. I really do enjoy him. And speaking of the 13, let's finish things off here by bringing in the rest of the family. His sister, Solus, Evil Bro, Megatronus, the Fallen. Look at the camera. Vector Prime, my guy, not really done the best here, but he's alright, I guess. Prima, and Alpha Trion from Titan's Return, because the new one isn't out yet, even though I think I'm gonna like this one better than the old one. But yeah, here we go. They look really nice. It's good to see the 13 coming together. And yeah, overall, this is a great figure. Even if you're not into the idea of the 13, I think you should get this figure. I think Alchemist Prime is just really cool. I legitimately think he is the best one of these, well, 5, since this is a figure from, like, years ago, this Alpha Trion. But, yeah, I think he's awesome. I really do love him. And, yeah, I think I've rambled on enough here. Thank you all for watching, and see you guys around.
Behold, humans! It is the glorious Skybite, Megatron's mightiest warrior, here to recite a haiku to you all. Ahem. If you enjoyed, then you should subscribe for more, so the fun won't end. Thank you for the audience.